Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. We have a packed news summary for you tonight, focusing on developing tensions in the Middle East and Eastern Europe. The conflict with Iran continues to escalate, while Ukraine's war with Russia remains a pressing concern. Meanwhile, Israel and Hezbollah are locked in a cycle of strikes, and US-Iran talks appear to be stalling. We'll bring you the latest updates from these hotspots and more. Let's get straight into our top stories. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, a pivotal meeting is set to take place between top diplomats from Iran and Russia, with US President weighing in on the situation. Iran's Foreign Minister, Hossein Araghchi, has arrived in Moscow for a meeting with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov. This trip comes as tensions between the US and Iran remain high following a series of military incidents in the region. According to reports, US President Donald Trump has stated that Iranian leaders can call him directly on the phone if they want to discuss potential talks. This move appears to be an attempt by Trump to bypass diplomatic channels and establish direct communication with Iran's leadership. The meeting between Araghchi and Lavrov is seen as a significant development in efforts to ease tensions between Russia, which has been a key ally of Iran, and the US. Russia has been a strong supporter of Iran's stance on several key issues, including its nuclear program and regional security concerns. In recent weeks, there have been reports of increased military activity in the region, with both the US and Iran engaging in skirmishes along the Strait of Hormuz. The situation has raised concerns among international leaders about the potential for further escalation. Araghchi's meeting with Lavrov is expected to focus on ways to reduce tensions between Russia and the US, as well as addressing regional security concerns. This could potentially provide a platform for talks between Iran and the US, although it remains unclear whether Trump's offer of direct communication will be taken up by Iranian leaders. The move by Trump to allow direct communication with Iran is seen as a calculated risk by some analysts, who believe that it could help to ease tensions in the region. However, others have expressed concern about the potential implications of such a development. As tensions escalate in Eastern Europe, a surprise development emerges from the Far East, where North Korea's Kim Jong-un is deepening military cooperation. In a significant display of military cooperation between North Korea and Russia, a high-ranking Russian delegation has arrived in Pyongyang for the opening ceremony of a memorial complex honoring those killed helping Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The event comes as North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has hailed the troops from his country who fought alongside Russia in Kursk last year, citing their bravery and loyalty. During the talks, Russia and North Korea agreed to strengthen military cooperation over the next 6 years, covering 2027 to 2031. This long-term partnership is seen as a significant development in the strategic alignment of two key players in Eastern Europe. The agreement is reportedly mutual, with North Korea receiving financial aid, military technology, food, and energy from Russia in return for its support. Analysts say that this cooperation will further solidify the ties between Moscow and Pyongyang, potentially altering the dynamics of regional politics. This move also underscores Kim Jong-un's efforts to elevate the North Korean troops who fought for Russia in Kursk into symbols of sacrifice and loyalty. By using state ceremonies and memorial projects to publicly honor their role, Kim aims to strengthen national pride and rally support behind his government. The implications of this cooperation are far-reaching, as it could potentially shift the balance of power in Eastern Europe. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia has already led to significant loss of life and displacement, with civilian casualties mounting on both sides. This development raises concerns about the escalation of tensions and potential consequences for regional stability. As tensions escalate between Russia and the US over potential involvement in an Iran conflict, a Russian lawmaker has issued a stark warning. A senior Russian lawmaker has sparked controversy by stating that the US is clearly unprepared for a war with Iran. Alexei Pushkov, a former head of Russia's National Defense Committee, made these comments in an interview with TASS news agency. According to Pushkov, the US thinking on military intervention may have been shaped by past experiences, including its involvement in Venezuela, where it believed pressure could be used to force political outcomes. However, Pushkov argued that this approach is misguided and that military force is unlikely to achieve its objectives quickly. Iran, on the other hand, has reportedly prepared extensively for conflict. According to Pushkov, much of Iran's missile infrastructure has been moved underground, and a large arsenal of missiles and drones has been built. He described this as a large arsenal, that would pose a significant challenge to any potential attacker. Pushkov's comments come at a time when tensions between the U.S. and Iran are escalating. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on Iran in response to its nuclear program, while Iran has threatened to retaliate. The situation is complex and sensitive, with multiple countries involved, including Russia, which has historically been critical of U.S. actions in the region. The implications of Pushkov's comments are significant, as they suggest that a war between the U.S. and Iran could be more complicated than previously thought. It remains to be seen how the U.S. will respond to these claims, but one thing is clear: the situation in the Middle East continues to unfold with great volatility. A tense standoff continues in the Middle East as Israel and a key Lebanese militant group engage in escalating military exchanges amidst stalled diplomatic efforts. Recent escalations in the Middle East have raised concerns about the stability of ceasefires in Lebanon and Iran. The latest violence began with a Hezbollah missile attack on an Israeli military outpost in northern Israel, prompting a retaliatory strike by the Israeli Air Force. The exchange of strikes has left at least one person dead and several others injured. Both sides claim responsibility for the attacks, but the exact circumstances are unclear. Diplomats from both countries have urged restraint, but tensions remain high. In Iran, talks between U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian to ease tensions over nuclear issues appear stalled. The direct negotiations, which began in Vienna last month, have been marked by disagreements over key issues such as Iran's missile program and its support for proxy forces in the region. The failure to reach a deal has significant implications for global security. The U.S. is seeking to limit Iran's ability to develop nuclear capabilities, while Tehran insists that any concessions would be unacceptable. Meanwhile, Hezbollah remains a major thorn in Israel's side, with the group's leader Hassan Nasrallah vowing to continue resisting Israeli aggression. The situation on both sides of the conflict is precarious, with neither party willing to back down. The international community is watching closely, as a miscalculation could have devastating consequences. With talks between Washington and Tehran appearing on hold, it remains to be seen when a breakthrough will occur or whether the fragile ceasefires in Lebanon can withstand further pressure from both sides. After weeks of tense negotiations, the prospects for a U.S.-Iran diplomatic breakthrough continue to slip away, threatening an escalation of tensions. U.S.-Iran talks stall as conflict nears two-month mark. Efforts to resume peace talks between the U.S. and Iran have stalled after a planned trip by President Donald Trump's top envoys was canceled. The decision comes as tensions between the two countries remain high, with the conflict nearing its two-month mark. According to reports, Trump had been set to send his Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and his National Security Advisor John Bolton to Tehran for talks with Iranian officials. However, the trip appears to have fallen through after Iranian officials threatened to walk away from negotiations if the U.S. continued to be seen as a hostile force. In a statement, Iran's foreign ministry said that it would not engage in talks while being subjected to hostile and aggressive rhetoric from the U.S. The move is seen as a significant escalation of tensions between the two countries, which have been locked in a conflict since U.S. troops withdrew from Iraq in January. The stalled talks are a major concern for many in Washington, who fear that the conflict could spiral out of control. With no clear end in sight to the violence, the international community is urging all parties to exercise restraint and seek a peaceful resolution. As the situation continues to deteriorate, world leaders are calling on both sides to calm down and engage in constructive dialogue. The U.S. and Iran have been engaged in a series of diplomatic exchanges in recent weeks, but so far, they have failed to yield any meaningful progress. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. We'll continue to bring you updates on the latest developments from around the world. If you want to stay informed, be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. We'll see you in the next video.